mind a half-empty action. As far as the conflict that there is with the OCP and the RGS, I'm not sure how there's a conflict when I've applied for a rezoning using an existing zoning that is both in the OCP of Central Saanich and is on their zoning list. As far as not being separate, as far as it's adjoining agricultural land, it's adjoining a development to the north that is in a denser level of housing than what we've proposed.
Not true.
It is true, and I'd be happy to go over that with anybody afterwards. As far as preserving farmland, the way to preserve farmland is to make sure that there is farmers to do it. I'm fortunate and blessed to have a son back in the room who's willing to do the same, to continue on what my family's done for 5 generations. As far as the units, the sandwich septic units, that's not what we're using. It will be a completely separate sewage treatment plant, totally self-contained. As far as the traffic is concerned, we had a study done when we had the application in for 264 units up there. Boulevard Traffic Company did a survey and said that no arteries, no intersections would be adversely affected, and none would need any upgrades with 264 units up there. We're now talking about 57 with a potential suites in those.
1 more minute.
Okay, it's going to take me a little bit more than that. Sorry, Ian, but 5% park. That is what Central Saanich asked for. They do not want, and they've stated this, any more parkland that they need to look after. There is 36% of the 32 acres, or approximately 11 acres, that is preserved as green and open space open to the public. The water, as far as the water study, the water is going to be, I'm relying on the geologists. They're the ones that have done all the studies. As far as a precedent, if this is a dangerous precedent of utilizing 32 acres to preserve in the joining area 235 and in total 400, not 160, in farming production, that is going to have 235 of it consolidated into non-subdividable versus being subdivided into 23 separate parcels is a dangerous precedent. I don't know of any other farms or other areas that have got the same certain circumstances that is going to, as it's been quoted, opening the floodgates. Because if it is, I think it's a pretty darn good one and pretty beneficial to the community. The buffers that were originally drawn in were the buffers that were asked for by the planner Hope Burns. The ALC buffers vary from anywhere from 2.5 meters to 15. It's not 15 all by itself. Consolidation is what Ms. Husbands talked about, is a section of the planner's report that does not relate to what is currently been approved, which is a 235 acre consolidation versus the consolidation that's been mentioned twice tonight. Okay, as far as the deal with my brother and bailing me out, I'm really tired of hearing that. The reason why I'm tired of hearing it is because I made a business deal with a business plan that was very simple. It was either sell farms or sell land or sell land. One way, I subdivide 32 acres to have 368 acres continue on in our family as farmland. The other way is, as was mentioned tonight, it's A1 zoning, but not even going with that, going with the A1 zoning, there's 9 separate parcels there that could be chopped off. And as was mentioned earlier, I wasn't able to buy all of the land that my brother and I owned. 4 of those parcels I wasn't able to. 3 of them have been sold off. 1 of them was Panama Flats. 2 of them were down at Martindale, and they certainly weren't bought by farmers, and certainly are no longer going to be farming. And I want to remind everybody that I don't know, and I didn't see anybody, and I still haven't to this day, seen anybody come up with a better way of doing this. I haven't seen, and I didn't see anybody for 2.5 years that the farm was available for sale by the court to step up to the plate. Nobody else did that, but I did. And I would like to see if there's a way that we can make this work so that it can continue on, because I've got a family that wants to continue it. I'm damn proud of what we're doing, and I'm really proud to say that what I hope we're going to have on that hill is something that everybody's going to be proud of, to be able to continue to see the farming we've been doing in open spaces. Thank you.
Okay, it's that time. Our rental of the hall is up, so... Yep, well, absolutely. And the Dogwood Initiative, who's footing the bill, would like to make closing comments. That seems reasonable.
Thank you. Right, so I introduced myself earlier. I'm Gordon. I'm with the Dogwood Initiative. I'm running a campaign called Our Home is Not for Sale. And that's looking at the fact that this issue is happening from left to right all across the CRD right now. And piece by piece by piece, little areas that are sacred to us are being gobbled up by development. So this issue is hardly unique. And now, what I'm supposed to do right now is stand up and tell everyone how it's going to be easy and we'll all go and write a letter and get control of your council and stop this in its tracks and it's no problem. And the truth is, this is a bit of a tough one. I mean, sorry to say, but you've got a bit of a renegade council right now. I mean, the CRD advised your council not to approve of this. The Advisory Planning Commission advised your council not to approve of this. Their own staff planners advised your council not to approve of this, and they're plowing ahead with it anyway. So this is going to be a bit of a tough one. And honestly, if you want to get control of your council right now, in the next month, you're going to have to raise hell for the next 30 days. Right? You need a really big campaign. And sometimes, I mean, I've been to dozens of these meetings. And usually what happens is people come, and they learn a lot, and they feel really inspired, and then they go home and go to sleep, and something happens. It's like a chemical reaction with your cornflakes the next morning. But by the time people get to work, they've already forgotten about it, right? So what we need people here to do, and I believe this, I think if everyone here goes home and tells 5 of their friends or 5 of their neighbors to take an interest in this issue, and if you can convince 5 people to do something about this, whether it's writing a letter to the editor or whether it's calling one of your counselors, Susan Mason's a great place to start, actually. Yeah. Call Susan Mason, write a letter to the newspaper, get this in the Times call list. If 5 of your friends, 5 of all of your friends do something, this might become a bit of a big enough of a controversy to take control of your own council. There's a lot at stake right now, so I hope that people take that seriously, and I hope you can do it. Vicky's...
So those letters that people can just sign if they want to?
Okay, so Vicky's handing me some form letters. Pick one of these up on the way out and sign them, and if you just drop them off to us, we'll make sure they get delivered to your council.
I suggest people read them first.
Good argument. Read them before you sign. There's also postcards from the Dogwood Initiative, and you can also visit the Dogwood Initiative site and find other ways to get involved. But I'm really glad that so many people came out this evening. Thank you to all of our speakers, and have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.